Good day. It's a weekend, and we felt like we got a little bit better than when we played the previous weekend. We were happy about that. I thought we got I thought Kelly Bates and Haley Nelson. I thought both of them offensively took the next step, and both of them had nice weekends. I thought both of them behind the service line put a lot of pressure on our opponents, and that was certainly good to see. I think Kelly's getting a lot better with her serving. That's something we're needing out of her. Transition attack has been something that we've really worked hard on, that and our blocking, and I thought both of those came along a little bit better, put up better numbers this weekend in both of theirs. Fun weekend with all the alums coming back. We're certainly appreciative of all of them coming back, and it looked like they were having a good time this weekend. We've got it's a pretty hefty duty tournament. We open up with Kansas State, who they might slide into the top 25 this weekend. Creighton, who might have played the toughest schedule in the country, or one of them up to this point, and really good and well-coached Arkansas team. So we're excited to get back to work. We've had a couple days off away from the gym, just some lifting, and ready to get after it this afternoon.
Dennis.
I got your Twitter question of the week. It's kind of about related to playing time. This last weekend, you sort of platooned Tori and Tiana in the middle, and Romana and Madison on the right side. Do you see it continuing that way, or settling on somebody before you get into the Big Ten?
Well, I don't know if I'm in a real big hurry to we're just going to let it go, let them battle and let them try to, show us, what they can do. Let's see what kind of, who improves. It's always going to be a work in progress. The past couple of years, what we've looked like at the end of the season has been not what we've looked like personnel and where they're at in the beginning of the season. And so, it's kind of the fun part about coaching is letting them figure it out. One of those actually was decided because we had somebody late for a meeting, and when you do that, then you're going to there's probably going to be playing consequences. So that sometimes those play itself out as well. But we're Tori's come in some spot play. She's looked good. Tiana has gotten dramatically better with her connections with Lauren behind the setter. Her blocking numbers continue to climb. From the right side, we've got to get a little bit more production out of either one of them. I don't think there's any secret to that, but neither one of them have played a whole lot of. Madison, she's been here 3 weeks or so, a month. So that we're not going to write her off right now. And Romana has taken a she didn't play any for a year. So we'll see how it goes.
Kelly, what kind of steps has Kelly Bates taken in her game, and why can't other teams stop her? It's not like she's 6'2", and I mean she's 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, it's I thought she came out of the gates, and her attack numbers weren't where we were wanting them, but her ball control was really, really good, and her backcourt has gotten a lot better. Her attacking numbers were a lot better this weekend, but her passing numbers were down a little bit. And so we've got to try to find a way to get all that. And I'm sure, she's not somebody I worry about at all. I mean, that's kid's locked in, and she's trying to get better. But she is very, very dynamic. I mean, she gets on the ball very quickly, for not just somebody her size. She's a very good blocker regardless of size. And she's very fast twitch. She's quick. She doesn't make a lot of mental mistakes because she's out to lunch. She's, when you're that athletic, you're that twitchy, and you've got that kind of volleyball IQ, you're going to beat up on a lot of people.
Kelly, 3 matches in 2 days sounds aggressive. Does that speed up the preparation curve for what's ahead?
It's tough. We did that. What was that? Opening weekend. We haven't done the past couple weeks. You play 3 matches against some pretty good teams within 24 hours. You know, a lot of people are doing that. I personally, if it were up to me, I'd like to get rid of that. I don't really know the reason behind that. And there's teams that are playing four matches in a couple days. And to me, that's just, I don't know, it's conducive to opening up injuries and not very good play and everything else, but it's kind of how this sport is done. You know, we'll give a full scatter report on our first match, who happens to be Kansas State, and then the last two matches, you really shrink that down and you give them a lot less information because there's just a lot less time to get ready. We like to think that our preparation is one of the advantages we have. I'm sure just about every team in the country feels that way, but we really believe it. And you know, you cut that down, it's not something that we'd really like to do. Maybe one of these days we'll get rid of some of these multi-team tournaments, but we'll see.
Pete Waite made his radio debut. What was it like having him back in the field house?
It was, you know, it's something I think is, you know, we have these. We send out these surveys. I think any of the sports that are ticketed sports, we send out these surveys to the ticket holders. The marketing department does afterwards, and it asks everything. I mean, this department is really, it's important to them to have the fan experience really good. And, you know, they'll ask about parking and concessions and the seating and their experience and, you know, other things about, you know, their education and background and their all kinds of stuff. And, you know, our first year, you know, we go to the national championship match and, you know, the surveys come back and, you know, probably had about a half dozen of them that sounded just like this, but one in particular said, "Hey, Coach Sheffield, you've had a great season. We appreciate everything that you've done, but you're no Pete Waite." And, you know, I'm sitting there going, man, what do we have to do? I mean, but it's, you know, he's from here. His family's from here. He's an unbelievable, he had an unbelievable career. People think very highly of him. I think very, very highly of him. I'd like him to be around. I mean, my evil plan was to have him doing the rest of the matches, and so we just suckered him in and said, "Here, come back and do one since you're already going to be in the building." But the evil plan is actually to him have such a good time that we just sucker him in here for good. I think he's a brilliant mind, and I think he just makes our product better. He's from here. He just, you know, I'd love for him to be around, but that's up to him. And hopefully he came back here and saw a lot of his former players, and it sounded like he had an unbelievable reaction from the crowd. It sounds like he might have had the biggest reaction from the crowd this weekend. That hopefully he feels like this is a place that he wants to continue to come back to and get back to the program because we could certainly use him.
What have you learned about this team that you didn't know opening weekend at the Hotel Red?
You know, that maybe, just maybe, we might end up being an okay blocking team. Maybe, just maybe, we might end up being a pretty good, our transition attack might end up being pretty good. Maybe, just maybe, some of the down balls, free balls, easy balls coming off the block, that we might be able to control those and come right back at our opponents with more of a ferocity than what we've done the first couple weeks. Those are things that we've been working on a lot that have been pretty much non-existent the first couple weeks, and we did a lot better job of that. And that's really, as a coach, that's what you want to see, is that when you get in the gym and you spend some time, what does it look like when you get back out there against opponents? Because, I mean, you do this long enough, and there's teams that you can spend all week working on things, and you get back out there, and it's like you didn't do anything at all in practice. And you know, I think it further just shows that we just need time together, that these guys, that they want want to get better. They are working hard, and then there's some improvements if we just do it in the gym. And so that's just an element of time. But I would say those are three things that jumped out from the first couple weekends.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Thanks, Kelly.